Imagine getting the raise you have been waiting for. Your take-home pay rises by $600 a month. For the first few weeks, it feels like relief. Maybe you move to a better apartment, replace the car you have been putting off, order dinner more often, take the trip you kept postponing. 6 months later, something strange happens. You are earning more than before, but your checking account feels tight again. Your savings barely changed, and the lifestyle that once felt upgraded no longer feels upgraded. It just feels normal. That is the raise trap. And the dangerous part is not simply that you spent more money, it is that higher spending can quietly become the new minimum cost of feeling normal. This is general financial education, not individualized financial investment, tax, or legal advice. Most people assume a raise creates financial progress automatically. It does not. A raise creates capacity. What happens next determines whether that capacity becomes freedom or simply a more expensive life. At first, the changes are easy to see. A nicer apartment, a newer vehicle, better restaurants, more convenience. Maybe a few things you used to call luxuries. None of those choices is automatically irresponsible. Money is supposed to improve your life. But here's the first layer of the trap. The upgrade is exciting while it is new. Then you adapt. The apartment becomes your apartment. The car becomes your car. Delivery becomes the way dinner gets handled on a busy night. The new spending stops feeling new. Psychologists use the idea of adaptation to describe how people can become accustomed to changes in their circumstances. The emotional boost from an upgrade can fade even while the price remains. So the problem is not only spending more after a raise, it is getting used to spending more. And even that is not the most expensive layer. The bigger danger begins when temporary upgrades become recurring obligations. A celebration dinner happens once. A higher rent payment arrives every month. A weekend trip ends. A larger car payment keeps coming. A one-time purchase can hit the budget once. A recurring commitment claims part of future paychecks until you change or end it. That is where lifestyle creep becomes harder to reverse. You are no longer deciding what to do with this month's raise. You are building a lifestyle that expects the higher income to continue, and recurring costs can reduce flexibility at the exact moment your income looks stronger. If flexible spending runs high one month, you may be able to change it next month. A lease, vehicle loan, insurance increase, finance purchase, or a recurring service may take much more effort to unwind. That is how someone can earn more and still feel trapped by every paycheck. The higher salary can be real. So can the loss of flexibility. And once the new baseline is established, the next raise may arrive already carrying a job, maintaining everything the previous raise added. Consider Jordan. Jordan gets a promotion and monthly take-home pay rises by $600. Over the next several months, housing costs rise by $250 after a move. Transportation and insurance rise by about $180. Dining, delivery, and other conveniences rise by roughly $120. Savings increase by $50. That is the entire $600 raise. Jordan earns more, but only $50 of the raise became additional savings. The other $550 was absorbed by higher spending, much of it recurring. Nothing in that example requires reckless behavior. That is what makes the trap dangerous. It can be built from decisions that each look reasonable on their own, and then another force can move the finish line. As your career, neighborhood, or peer group changes, the lifestyles around you can change too. A vehicle that once looked expensive can start looking ordinary. A home that once felt impressive can begin to feel small. A vacation that once felt special can start to look routine. You do not have to be consciously competing with anyone. Your reference point for what feels normal can shift, so your income can rise while your definition of enough rises with it. Now we reach the question that matters. Did your last raise make you financially stronger, or did it mostly make your life more expensive? Here's the test. Go back to the last meaningful increase in your take-home pay. Write down how much additional money began reaching your household each month. Then compare what changed. How much did your recurring living costs increase? How much did debt repayment increase? How much did saving or investing increase? How much did flexible spending increase? Do not ask whether you spent more. You probably did. Ask the harder question. How much of the raise became permanent financial progress if take-home pay increased by $600, but saving, investing, or debt reduction increased by only $50? The raise did not vanish. Most of it was converted into a more expensive way of living, and this is where the solution becomes almost the opposite of what people expect. The answer is not to freeze your lifestyle forever. You worked for the raise. It is reasonable to enjoy some of it. The goal is to stop your lifestyle from deciding where the money goes before you do. The strongest moment to make that decision is before the higher income feels normal. When a raise is coming, build a raise plan before the first larger paycheck arrives. Decide how much of the additional take-home pay will create financial progress. That might mean building emergency savings, increasing retirement contributions, paying down high-cost debt, or funding another important goal. Then decide how much you intentionally want to use to improve your life, and leave room for costs that genuinely increased rather than pretending every expense is optional. There is no universal percentage that works for every household. A household with high interest debt may make a different choice from one already meeting its major financial goals. The important part is the sequence. Claim part of the raise for progress before the new lifestyle claims all of it. Automation can help. If part of the raise is meant for savings, retirement, or another recurring goal, arrange the contribution or transfer around payday when practical. That way, the money begins serving the goal before it quietly becomes available for something else. But there is one more test that can prevent a raise from becoming a cage. Watch what you turn into a fixed monthly cost. Before signing a more expensive lease, financing a vehicle, or adding another recurring obligation, do not ask only, "Can I afford this today?" Ask, "If my income stopped rising for the next 3 years, would I still want this payment?" That question changes the decision, because the real goal of earning more is not simply to become a higher income spender. It is to widen the gap between what comes in and what your lifestyle requires. That gap is where options begin. It can become an emergency reserve, debt reduction, retirement contributions, a down payment, career flexibility, or simply the ability to absorb an unexpected bill without immediately reaching for a credit card. A raise that increases income and required spending by nearly the same amount may improve your lifestyle, but it creates very little additional financial margin. A raise that increases income faster than your required lifestyle increases your choices. That is the difference between looking richer and becoming financially stronger. So here is your next action. Find the last raise, promotion, bonus, or meaningful income increase that changed your monthly take-home pay. Calculate the increase, then trace where that money goes today. How much became recurring expenses? How much became flexible spending? How much increased savings, investing, or debt repayment? Do not judge yourself. Expose the pattern. If most of the increase became lifestyle, you do not need to reverse your entire life tomorrow. Start with the next decision. Avoid adding one recurring cost you do not truly value. And when the next increase in income arrives, direct part of it toward financial progress before your lifestyle gets used to having all of it. If high-interest credit card debt is already absorbing your extra cash, watch our video, Why Your Credit Card Balance Barely Moves, and How to Pay It Off. It shows how to build a realistic payoff plan without pretending every household has the same budget. Earning more can keep you broke when every raise quietly resets the cost of being you. The raise itself is not the trap. Letting higher income become a higher minimum lifestyle before you make a deliberate choice is the trap. Enjoy the progress you worked for, but make sure every raise buys some freedom before it buys another upgrade. If this video helped you understand why earning more can keep you broke more clearly, please like the video and subscribe to Wealth for Legacy. Your support helps us continue producing careful, evidence-based, practical financial education designed to help you build wealth, protect it, and pass opportunity forward. Keep building your legacy. Stay safe, stay wealthy, and take care.